Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get that. I get the multiple events, but like, I guess, which is one big massive event, but all these places, these destinations around the world. So I think there'll be a massive thing in London. I think New York. I think Washington. I think we'll see something at Mount Rushmore. I think
the
Paris.
Vatican, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vatican. Yeah. Um, and other places around the globe, and I think it will all be, like you say, in hours. That makes total sense. I think simultaneously, but it'll be, I think it'll be a pack of, a line of dominoes. Just, I remember a mentor saying to me years ago that if you're going to do something, you hit it all at once at the same time, because then they can't, they're scared, they can't do anything. Then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
just, and then it's like, the whole landscape has changed, and that's what it feels like. That's, numerous events simultaneously all happening around the same time. Do you get anything with that whole thing, that Q post, a week to remember? Have you looked at that Q post, a week to remember? It's about, it looks the shape of a revolver, the way they've staggered the writing, but what does it say? It's, dark to light, a week to remember, blackout necessary, a whole bunch of things, and then Q at the bottom. Yeah. Can we look at the whole thing of a week to remember? What do we see with the week to remember? What do the cards say on that?
Well, we've got a page which is a yes. So there is going to be a week, might be more like 8 days. So that's interesting. There's an 8 there. So that's
Okay.
interesting. And it's still to come by the look of it, 2 pages on either side. So yes, but it's still to come. So I think the week to remember is maybe what we're talking about, all those events.
Yeah.
Some of them water, some of them fiery, we'll just say, some of them. Like I'm gonna say earth, wind, fire, air.
Very
Okay,
good.
things coming through the air, things coming up under the earth, so volcanic. I think all the elements will be involved. Flooding,
Earth.
like
Those 4 elements you just said. So earth, earth, air, water, fire. In numbers comes to 185. Donald John Trump, Book of Revelation, the silver reset. That's interesting. And that Q post, when it says a week to remember, so we've got that whole thing in I guess folklore about remember the 5th of November, but a week to remember is 159 in numbers, which comes to John Kennedy, JR, comes to the Chinese elders. It comes to it comes to those. And then if you do just week to remember, so you take the A off, that's 158, which is remember. But it's also top trumps as well, which is another thing that we've had in our popular iconography of, everyone knows the game top trumps. It's like, how did that get there? Who put that there? Remember, 158 is top trumps. It's like the trump card gets pulled. Can we look at that? I suspect I might know what the answer is, but maybe we'll get surprised. Who created top trumps? I mean, who put that together?
Like, what do you mean? Like the phrase trumps?
Yeah, so there's a card game, top trumps, so everyone gets a score. I mean, I haven't researched it, or maybe I did ages ago. I don't think it's on the surface directly related to Donald Trump, but it probably is. I'm wondering if it's got origins in things like, the Trump time travel books and stuff. But top trumps is 158, which is remember.
Again, placed there maybe
Yeah,
to be discovered later.
yeah.
Okay, so don't forget that these guys are so that could be White Hat Alliance. Don't forget that these guys are time travelers. So I feel like, time doesn't exactly work. I mean, time travelers is a simplified way of saying it, but I think what I mean is time doesn't work the way we think it does. So they can play around with time different than we can, which is something really interesting. Every day I see somebody talking about, like, for instance, your friend, and no disrespect, who just passed away, we were just talking about at the beginning of the show, I thought passed years ago. I was sure I heard about his passing years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like what is that called when that happens? The something effect.
Oh yeah, the Mandela effect. Yeah.
Yeah. People are always talking about these Mandela effects, and it's ramping up. Like a song isn't, the words aren't the same as you absolutely remember singing it when you were a kid, and they changed the words on you. Things like that are happening a lot. And I feel like all of that is trying to wake us up to that time doesn't really work the way we think it does.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, this might be an obvious question, but maybe we'll get some mechanics around it. So understanding things like time travel, understanding things like how time doesn't really exist the way we think it does, understanding things like magic, powers and abilities that we have that have been dormant within us that we've maybe not exercised as much. I mean, we're going through this process, so our faculties have been heightened. But do you think once we get to this event, or event week, or event 8 days, or 10, whatever it is, 10 days, 17 days, however long it will be, do you feel that once we get to that point, we're going to see a exponential rapid growth and acceleration of reveals on those things? Because that would really make, life on Earth just out of this world, wouldn't it?
I feel like we're already experiencing that. So moving out of troubled water, but this can also be swift action, moving to the positive. And then we've got the strength. We've already upgraded a lot. And people that are open to it and allowing themselves to, or even noticing, they've noticed that their intuition's sharper. I got people writing me all the time and writing in the comments that they're feeling like they're picking up on, they're channeling, they're giving themselves permission to be the magical creatures they are. It's already happening. I think that's over the whole process here. That's happening. It might ramp up, but it's already been happening.
Cool. Very cool. I wonder as well, can we look at leap years? What do the cards say about leap years? Because we're coming into another one. So just as a reminder, we had the Olympic ceremony 2012. They showed us some things in that. 2016, I did my interview with Michael Gambon, but we had all these celebrities die or go into protection. Prince, George Michael, David Bowie, Carrie Fisher, Johan Cruyff, all these people. Leicester City win the Premier League. Brexit happens. Brexit in numbers is 78. Kennedy, so we heard that for 3 years. Kennedy, 78 all the time in England and around the world. Trump got in office, or he's voted in. So all those things happened in 2016, and then we hit the big one in 2020 where the world changed. So I feel that 2024 is going to be another quantum leap of probably 10 times bigger than what we just saw.
You bet.
Yeah.
Huge awareness of, by then, a lot of people will know about what's been happening in the enslavement of the human race.
Yeah.
Also, they'll know about the alliance. So future selves been helping us through this, which is a big stretch for a lot of people. Other dimension beings or people from like in a more advanced humanity. I mean, that's wild, right?
Yeah.
And also that they've been helping us through this time. Like, so that there's going to be a lot of revelations that could be very shocking, obviously, especially when it comes to this bunch.